York Jets got yet another W. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 20 of Tsunami Speaks with your host, Tsunami Jones. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend if you can. That's how we'll continue to grow this channel going forward and keep making headway to our next goal, which is 500 subscribers and, of course, beyond. Wow. First and foremost, the New York damn Jets are 5-2. Okay, we are 5-2. I know we got some Jets fans that are down in the dumps today, even though we won. I need y'all to pick up the energy. We are 5-2. We are firmly entrenched in second place in the division. The only reason we're in second is because it's the damn Bills. Yes, that game was ugly as hell. Yes, I was scared from the first quarter on to the end of the damn game. But that's a part of being a New York fan. Y'all know this. There's always going to be a little element of fear, no matter what the lead is. And in this case, the lead wasn't very high. But our defense played great for the most part. The only the only drive that I can point out that I was disappointed in was that Broncos drive that we had when Quan got hurt. Now he came back in. But my favorite play of the game is still going to be Brees's touchdown run. Okay. So I know he got a nice hole that he was able to run through, but at the beginning of that play, I did not have the vibe of he's going to make this an explosive play. I didn't feel like he's going to take this all the way. I mean, my God, he made something out of nothing. That's what I love about that kid. Prayers up to the guy and everything, but I love him. And then you have to also, with the blocking was really solid on that play. Think about what our guy Denzel Mims did. We got to give him some credit on his blocking, and he takes pride in it. I mean, he said so himself when they interviewed about it. I forgot the quote, so maybe it'll come to me a little bit later. But if you don't block, you don't get the rock. I think that's what the quote was, something like that. All right. So Denzel Mims came in and he made the most of his opportunity. I know he didn't have like a bunch of yards and all that, but at least he did something on that damn play. But yeah, that was my favorite play by far. There weren't a bunch of explosive plays in this game for me to really dive into. So I'm going to just go ahead and just revisit the keys to the win. So one of the major keys that I had here was that we needed to manage penalties. We didn't really do that at all. Y'all, we had 8 flags in the first half. 8 of them. That's a lot. Some we can obviously put on the refs being crappy. They've been crappy though. This is the worst that we've been penalty wise. So some of it you got to put on us here. And if you think about it, I know a lot of people were mad at Zach and things like that, but I think we would have gotten a touchdown in that drive right before halftime instead of the kick that we got. If we could have extended that drive, and we lost it because of so many penalties on that same drive. I'm surprised we overcame as many of them as we were able to. I mean, no one wants to talk about that. It's not fun to talk about penalties in general, but that's something Salah has got to clean up, whatever he's got to do. We finished the game with 11 penalties for 85 yards. We just got to be better. But that's all I'm going to say about that. We're not going to dwell on it. We are not going to go call by call about what foolishness shouldn't have been called and all that, because I could go on and on, y'all, on that. And it's too late in the damn evening to do it. My next key was we needed to run the damn ball. We did. We finished the game with on 155 rushing yards on 24 attempts. I'm going to say we did fairly well considering the circumstances. Yeah, the line's a little juiced up due to Brees's huge touchdown run. I mean, I believe it was 62 yards, so obviously that matters. Um, so I mean, so that helps a ton. Other than that, I mean, Michael Carter didn't get a bunch of yards or anything like that. I think he had 20 something yards if I could find it. So I'm not just making stuff up. He had 29 yards on 13 carries. That's not really what you want to see. But the Broncos knew that that was going to be our game plan. So I'm not entirely shocked that they did a good job of stopping the run other than Brees's play. So Braxton Berrios had a couple reverses that he made some play, something out of nothing and stuff like that. Braxton always kind of has that extra juice, that extra gear. So it's always good to have him out there. And I'm glad he got more things to be excited about with him. All right. I got to shout out Jarrell first. My guy's a major Giants fan, and he had to talk his crap today. I will allow a little bit of it since I talk crap in the channel. Well, I don't really talk crap, but I do talk in his channel from here and there. So thanks for the shout out, Jarrell, and the slight. But congratulations to your Giants. Y'all helped me get some money today, so appreciate y'all for sure. And Melvin, I know we got to keep our heads up on this. But I totally agree that we should call up Bam Knight. I mentioned that on Twitter earlier. He is lightning in a bottle. He's a beast. Okay. Freaking love Bam Knight. I would love to see him get some minutes. Yeah, some snaps in this case. Maybe I know that I can't recall if he's still on the practice squad. I'm assuming he is. And if he is, call his butt up. I like him better than Ty Johnson, even though he wasn't terrible today and didn't make any mistakes or anything like that. But I like him way more than Johnson. So hopefully he gets some opportunities here because we are going to have to make some decisions. But the good news is a lot of teams use our system. So if we get a running back from any team that runs the Shanahan system, that we'll be able to use them. So that's something encouraging. I saw someone on Twitter say we should get Jeff Wilson since the Niners have Christian McCaffrey now. Maybe we do that. I hope so. If not, then we're going to figure it out. Tevin Coleman may have been cut. I know he's a kind of an older cat, but I think he's better than than Chai Johnson. So there's someone else to throw in there. All right, my next key that I had was that we needed to create turnovers. And I use that a lot in most of my videos because it's a big key for a team that has a very young quarterback and a team that runs the ball a ton. Did we create turnovers? We did get one. And they stole the other one back from CJ. And I'm salty about it, so I'm gonna bring it up. Because that was some BS. He caught the damn ball. Like that iced the game. It just should have stopped there, or whatever. But let's give credit to LaMarcus Joyner, the much maligned LaMarcus Joyner. We had kind of forgiven him after he had the 2 interception game a couple weeks ago, or almost 3 weeks ago now. And then so I saw some cats who were mad at him again because he was giving up some plays. But if he's gonna start not giving up, but getting interceptions here and there, I'm good with him. I'm just saying, because they're gonna pick on Joyner because he is still one of the worst of players of our secondary, which is not a shot at him. We have a great secondary. We all know this. But yeah, and the one where it hit Whitehead, when he just threw when Ripien just threw the ball and there were like 3 Jets defenders, but it went straight to Whitehead. I think my guy was just shocked the ball was thrown to him and was like, and so he mistimed his jump, but that's just my opinion there. No fumble recoveries like I thought was going to happen with Melvin Gordon being there. But no worries. He only had like 11 carries total, so I think since they didn't run him much, we didn't get the opportunity to punch the ball out like I was hoping and expecting to see. Let me check back into the chat, make sure I ain't missed nothing. Ooh, I didn't watch the presser today. I didn't watch it. I normally do. But that's great to hear. I'm glad. Yo, okay, Bam, might get some snaps for real. I'm hype as hell. Okay. Oh, and shout out to my dad. Mr. Old School. Great win. Defense is standing up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got a lot more in store. Hell of a lot more. All right. And so one of my other keys really quickly here was that we needed to, when we got into the red zone, we needed to score points, preferably touchdowns. Ah, we didn't really do that. I mean, we obviously know about Brees's touchdown, but we weren't in the red zone. He just went in there and smacked, he had that long play, the 62-yard play. I think we actually only had one red zone possession. Y'all can fact check me if I'm wrong there, but I think that's the only time we were actually in the red zone. All our other scores, when we did have short fields that our defense was doing a good job of getting us, we opted for to just take the points. So in other words, if we didn't convert on third down, which we did not do a great job of, we just took the points. I think part of that is that's how Salah is naturally. I think the other part of that is that we didn't have Brees. So if you go for it on fourth down, you want your bell cow to help do that. No shade at Michael Carter, but he's a little bit light. So how comfortable do you feel with Carter doing that? And then with Zach, I think they were worried about doing QB sneak with him. And then, of course, we got to give credit to their defense. They did a great job. That's all I can really say. So we just were very conservative. I think this is the second week in a row where we're extremely conservative, but consider the opposition. Both teams have fantastic secondaries. They didn't want Zach throwing it all across the yard. So I'm kind of okay with it, but I'm okay with it because we won. I hope in the future we still do some aggressive play calling because I feel like if we do aggressive play calling, generally speaking, leads to wins. So we'll see. Maybe we get a little bit more aggressive next week when we play the Pats. Ew. Um, but yeah, so I get the reasoning. All right. My next key that I had for us was that the defense needed to get to the quarterback. Um, we didn't really, I won't say that we didn't do it. We did sack him when we got to him once. We did get 6 quarterback hits, but we just didn't really get home as much as I was really hoping for. I thought we were going to smack them around. I thought our defensive line was going to smack them all the way around and there wouldn't even be a chance for them. Let me put this up too, because I agree with you, Melvin, for sure here. Our defense and the special teams definitely are who won us this game. And Zach does need to work on his accuracy. And we are going to need him against New England and Buffalo. And I have more to say about that a bit later, but I totally agree with you there. And actually, I'm going to bring that up in a second as far as the special teams aspect. But I was just hoping that we were going to smack them around utilizing our defensive line. So I guess I have to give some credit to the Broncos offensive line. Maybe they stepped up knowing their backup quarterback was in there and they were like, okay, well, we have to block for this dude because he is not Russell Wilson. Or you can look at it in a negative way and say, oh, we have a quarterback we believe in, so we're going to block for him. I don't want to necessarily go there. I'm just saying it could be either or. But credit to their offensive line, but our defensive line needs to get home a little bit more. So that was just really, that was something there. Quinnen Williams, I believe, had a quarterback hit. I'm going to just look real quick. Quinnen had 2 quarterback hits. Nathan Shepard, the much maligned Nathan Shepard by Jets Nation, he had a quarterback hit. And 4 tackles. Bryce Huff, my guy, always gets a quarterback hit. He had a half sack earlier, and then Sheldon Rankins also had a quarterback hit. No, I guess that's everybody. So I just expected a bit more, just considering that. So credit to their offensive line. It is what it is, but our Jets did great still, even though we didn't necessarily sack them all over the place. Special teams. So I said we needed to have a great special teams performance in order for us to win. To Melvin's point, we did have a great one. Those who watching are always just looking for impact plays where, like last week when we had Michael Clemens' fumble return, right? That was a huge play. Then obviously we got the touchdown. Well, he caused the fumble, and then Will Parks actually returned the football and we got the touchdown. We didn't get one of those today. but we don't always need one of those. I mean, you got to take your hat off for sure to Big Z, Greg Zerline. Some people gave up on him week 1. Got some receipts on that. A lot of people didn't think my guy was any good because he had a bad week 1, even though a lot of kickers have bad first months. But it is what it is there. He was 3 for 3 on field goals. He had a long of 45 yards. It was very windy out. And I think that actually impacted the other team's kicker. Forget his name, McManus, I think. So credit to Greg the Leg, my guy. And then let's give Braden Mann some credit. He had a 72-yard punt. I kept looking at that and wondering if I was wrong, but that's what I saw online. And he had to deal with the wind a bit too. And we still downed the Broncos within the 20 twice. So that was pretty good. And he punted a ton. We punted 8 times. Ooh. So we got to give credit to them there. And then, of course, our special teams in general. Justin Hardy is always making plays. Brandon Eccles is always making plays on the special team. So that's probably one of our strongest units, obviously, on this team. And they're unsung heroes because, people don't necessarily care about them. No, Braxton Barrows didn't return anything for a touchdown, but he was instrumental as well. It was a good team, solid win on the special team side of it. And let me check back in. Ha. I'm going to talk about Sauce in a little bit. I'm going to talk about him. But yeah, 10 tackles, 4 pass breakups for Sauce. You saw 4? What website did you get that from? See, ESPN credited him for 3. I would not be surprised if it was 4 because it felt like a ton. But I definitely am voting Sauce for Rookie of the Week. I hope he actually is on that list. I know sometimes when they do the voting, they like to see more stats like interceptions on there. So I'm hoping that we're able to vote him in. They might give it to Walker. But if he's on the list, Jets Nation will vote him in, Melvin. I guarantee it. We don't care. I guarantee it. And then really the last key that I had listed on here was that our offensive line needed to hold up some for Zach. Nah, I wouldn't say that happened. We gave up 3 sacks, and honestly, there could have been at least 2 more that I counted, where Zach had to make some magic happen with his feet. He actually was pretty good running with the ball today. He actually had a couple opportunities I think he could have, and he kind of pulled back. He played very conservative in this game. But so our offensive line hurt me a little bit. I was expecting better from them, even though the Broncos do have a good defensive line, and DJ Jones did play, and he was good. That play that Zach got very, very lucky that the referees actually didn't get him for that fumble. And look, we mad at the refs, but I think they gave us a dub there because I was so positive that was a fumble. Yeah, it was close, but anyway, off of that, Dwayne Brown didn't have a good game. I mean, mea culpa on that. As far as I'm concerned, I'll let it go because we got the W, and Dwayne Brown he's inclined to have one bad game. But I mean, I saw at least 2 penalties from him. I think, don't hold me to this, I feel like he gave up one of those sacks. I can't, the advanced analytics like with PFF and stuff like that, they normally don't have the stuff ready until the next day. So I will check that tomorrow and see what it was, but I don't have it right now. So I don't have any grades for our offensive line, but I'm sure they're all subpar. I do have to obviously mention AVT got hurt. That was a shock. He went into the tent. Actually, I'll probably go over all the injuries in a second here. But AVT went to the tent and didn't come back in the second half. I'm sure we missed him. Cedric, he has a last name that I do not know. I don't have it in front of me, and I think I would struggle to pronounce it. I will work on that by the time I do my next video. But Cedric, he played fairly well at right tackle. I'm surprised we didn't use Mike Remmers. I guess he's our backup left tackle and Cedric's our backup right tackle. I guess that's what the team has it set up as. But I don't think he did too badly after that. I mean, I didn't see his name called or anything like that. If you guys saw his name called for a penalty or you notice he gave up a sack, let me know. But I didn't see it. But I pray with everything in me that we get ABT back this week. We're gonna need him versus the Patriots. I'm not a fan. We need him. I need all our horses. So when we beat the Patriots, it'll be a even better feeling, you know? Also another player that got hurt in this game was Corey Davis. That was a shock. I mean, not that he's not allowed to get injured. It was just kind of a shock in the manner of which it happened. So you think about it, I think it was all in the second quarter. I think it was Brees, Corey Davis, and then ABT. Maybe not exactly in that order, but that's how it ended up happening. So that was wild. And one other thing I'm going to bring up that wasn't like one of my like keys, but I just want to bring it up because I feel like it's worth noting. If you look at the team stats, third down, the Jets were 3-14, which is pretty bad. And we only had the football for 27 minutes and 37 seconds. The Broncos outgained us on offense as well as held the ball longer than us, and we still won the game. It's just worth noting. So that's something we could at least kind of revel in, at least. Because under normal circumstances, that wouldn't be happening. Think about last year, that definitely wouldn't be happening. So that shows growth from this team and something to be at least a little bit happy about in a time where I know a lot of us are still upset, and I get it. So revisiting the players to watch that I had outlined previously. All right, so here's my deal with Zach, right? Got to talk about Zach. He was the guy I mentioned in the last video, of course. And I predicted he would be 15 of 25 for 175 yards. I wasn't that far off. I was just short on the yardage. He was actually 16 of 26 for 121 yards, and he rushed for 24 yards. All right, so he definitely had some bunnies that he should have hit and would have extended those drives and changed the game. But I really wasn't as upset as I was earlier when I watched the game because I rewatched right before coming on for here. That's why I came on late. I wanted to get it fresh so I understood and remembered all the stuff that I needed to remember. I actually don't find myself as upset. My reasons are A, he finished with a clean game. A clean game versus one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. That same pass defense that I said holds teams to 16.5 points per game. We basically fell where we were supposed to fall. Zach left points out there. I saw them. He left plays out there, and there's plenty I know he'd want back. But keep that in consideration. It's kind of relevant. B, dude played with a muddy pocket the majority of the damn game that he was out there, and he was running for his freaking life. I mean, when quarterbacks are running for their lives, they normally doesn't really end well. So I have to defend him there. And then lastly, he lost two of his best weapons in the second quarter. I already mentioned earlier, he lost Corey Davis, he lost Brees Hall, he lost AVT, and then he also lost, prior to the game, obviously, Elijah Moore. Do you think that Zach plays this poorly if he has all of those players? Even if the first half would have been rough? I'm just saying. That's just how I feel about it. Again, Zach did not play well, but he played within himself. He didn't take a lot of chances. We weren't aggressive, and you could tell by the play calling we didn't want him to be aggressive. Are we not being aggressive because we don't trust him? Maybe. Or are we doing it because we feel like we have the horses to win the game and win it a certain way? So, a couple different ways to look at it. This doesn't mean he's not. I'm sorry. This doesn't mean he is a franchise quarterback, but it also doesn't mean he isn't either. Let's let the whole season play out first, and then we can decide if Zach is the right guy or not. Shouldn't be making decisions this early. That's just how I feel in general, and I would say this about any quarterback. Next player that I had listed here was CJ Uzomah. I thought he was going to have a breakout game. I mentioned it in the last video. We did target him twice, but he had one catch for 5 yards. The other catch was the play that we were all mad, including me. I was mad too. Where Zach just missed him and he had to make that pass. Like, he had to make a better pass than that. It was high. It was outside. There was no way CJ was going to catch that. So that was not CJ's fault at all. It was all Zach. But I did rewatch the play to see just how how much pressure he was under, and he was under pressure. Zach rushed the throw. That's why it was so damn high. So unacceptable, but that's what ended up happening. As far as the reason why he only got, there were 2 targets in general, is because you saw what their defensive line and their pass rush was doing to Zach. So I think we had CJ in to block a hell of a lot more, and we let Conklin get more of the opportunities this time because we know dude is a great blocker. Let me hit these comments. My bad, Melvin. Agreed. We're not. We are not the same old Jets. We're not. Thank you. Thank you. Exactly. Unreal. It's very. It was huge. It was a huge win for this team. And yes, yep. You basically said everything I said. And we do. I'm concerned on that as to, are we going to bring him back immediately without, like, I don't want to say like teaching his lesson or whatever. Y'all can look at it in whatever way you want to, but I kind of wanted him to be benched for 2 games. Now, if Corey Davis is out at least a game, you have to play him. But I need Elijah to be in the right headspace. I need him to be in a team headspace and not, I don't know, and not be a whiny baby about it. There's a lot of wide receivers who don't get targets. You can't say I want to be traded because of it, especially when the team is 5-2 now. You bet not. But yeah, so I'm with you, Melvin, for sure. As far as the other players I had, so Breece Hall was one guy I had listed. Breece was on fire, and he was killing it early. He had 4 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown. I can't imagine what he would have finished with if he stayed healthy. No idea. Easy 100-yard game at that point, and possibly another game similar to what he did in the Dolphins game when he had like 200 yards from freaking scrimmage. Prayers up that the worst case scenario that we've got from Salah, because I did hear about that, being that they suspect it's an ACL and the news is not good. I'm praying and hoping on hope that it's something else. Hopefully it's an MCL, like Zach's injury last year where he was out for 4 games. Or PCL, I think it was MCL for this year, PCL last year. Y'all get the point. We need some good news for Breece. But if we don't, next man up. Michael Carter is very good. We just need another backmate with that cat, like I was saying earlier with Melvin. Bam Knight needs to be called up. Call my guy up. And maybe if we do make a potential trade for another running back, maybe. I am not necessarily saying we need to go big there, though. And we'll see. We'll see. I trust Joe Douglas a lot, so I feel like whatever he decides to do is going to be the right move for the team. Period. But yeah, that sucks. And like my dad said earlier, I had to give dad what dad says to me all the time. Injuries suck. So it does hurt. But now I got to talk about Sauce Gardner. I got to talk about him. This kid is ascending, boys and girls. He is killing it. Top 10 corner in the NFL, maybe top 5. I don't know, but he's in the top, period. Okay. He had 10 total tackles with 9 solo tackles. And what I had was 3 passes defensed. If y'all see 4, I know Melvin, you mentioned you saw 4, even better. And the best thing about what Sauce did, Sauce made a huge play at the end of the game. And I don't want to hear crap from fans of Denver Broncos or just fans from rival teams who just don't want the Jets to do well. So they talking smack, saying he ain't hold nothing. That those cats were fighting the entire way down in the end zone. And Sauce made the play at the end of the damn game. Let's give Sauce his damn credit, okay? Like, again, this is a rookie corner doing this. Immaculate. I mean, I watched some of the Seahawks game, and but when I was watching, I saw Woolen give up like a huge pass, and I'm like, Sauce wouldn't do that. And that's another rookie player, right? That people think might be in line with Sauce Gardner. Woolen is good, but Woolen is not Sauce. Woolen is not Sauce Gardner. My guy. And I'm hoping so, Melvin. Jets are horrible with predicting injuries. Becton, Zach. Hoping for the best for Brees. Hope he will be back in a few weeks. Your lips to God's ears. Please, Lord God. All the prayers there. All right. Staffa, what's up, my guy? What's up? What's up? Sauce Rookie of the Year. Yes, sir. Defensive Rookie of the Year. To me, that should be etched in freaking stone. If not, they hating on the New York Jets. That's how I'm seeing that, because he's helped us do so much in these 3 weeks. DJ Reed though has been really good too. I don't want us to forget and not acknowledge my guy DJ Reed. 5'9" guy going up and not surprising, but going up and making plays against Cortland Sutton. He's a beast, man. I want to give that guy some credit too. That said, so yeah, Sauce Gardner, he was great. There were times where I saw him on Jared Judy as well as Sutton, but I think he was on Sutton for the majority of it. So I was really impressed by what he did, and I can't wait. We play the Patriots next week. Like I mentioned already, I don't know who he's going to be lined up against, because who's their best wide receiver? Is it Jacoby Myers? Is it Kendrick Bourne? I don't even know if those players are still playing, because I don't even watch the Patriots. I just don't watch them. I don't like them. Even if they show up on Red Zone, I look at my phone. But I can't think. They might. What's the cat that they got from the Dolphins? That might be their best wide receiver. His name will come to me eventually here, but I know he had one good game this year. I saw that show up, so maybe they'll put Sauce on him. Well, maybe they'll just move Sauce around, which they can. This is still a zone defense conceptually, even though we go man on third down. So either way, can't wait to see what Sauce does. I want Sauce to have a multiple interception game, just so the whole NFL will just really feel it. But either way, he's making plays every damn game. All right, and so the players on the Broncos, I'm not going to spend much time here on that, because screw them. Remember I said I thought Russell Wilson was going to start, because Mr. Unlimited keeps saying that he has Wolverine blood and he heals fast and he's a mutant and all that stuff. But I guess not. Maybe he's not those things, because Brett Ripien started. And after kind of thinking about it, especially when they announced it on Saturday, I feel like this was the plan the entire time. Even though Russell was playing, I think the Broncos had already decided that they were going to have him do it, because they had a good game plan for us. Brett couldn't necessarily execute it in the second half, but I think they really planned for him, and that's why they did as well as they did. I don't feel like he played like for him and Russell Wilson do not play a similar game. So that's just what I saw when I observed. But regardless, the Jets won. Russell Wilson, Brett Ripien, Josh Johnson, the Jets still were going to win. Okay. Dulcich, he did play. Not that he played, but anyway, Dulcich played, and that he was someone I mentioned that might do some damage, and he did do some damage. But he had 6 catches for 51 yards. I mean, y'all already know the Jets and tight ends, man. We just really struggle with it. I mean, the only way that we don't struggle against the tight end is if Sauce is guarding them. And so clearly we didn't do that, because that wasn't what needed to be happening. But he had 51 yards, and then I believe Eric Tomlinson, their backup tight end, he had 21 yards on 2 catches too. So that's 70 some yards that they got from that position. That's something the Jets need to try and clean up a little bit. But obviously he didn't kill us. Justin Simmons, I don't know if y'all were as nervous as I was, but he almost picked off Zach in that drive. What ended up happening was the corner who was, I don't remember who Zach was throwing. Oh, it was Braxton Barris who was throwing to. But Justin Simmons was right there, and they had another corner. Sorry about that. So anyway, in that play, it looked like a pick. He dropped it, but it didn't matter because they called pass interference on the other corner that was on him. So anyway, my whole point is I'm just glad that that didn't end up happening. No interception happened there. Justin Simmons looked good when they showed him on camera and all that stuff, not making like notable plays, but his coverage was good. But obviously, we didn't let him kill us, and that's what I wanted. We did not. He wasn't a ball hawk in this game because Zach didn't give him but so many balls to make plays on. So credit to Zach there. Pat Sertan, kind of the same thing. I did see a play where Pat Sertan did get beat. I cannot remember who did it. I think it might have been Garrett Wilson because I think obviously Garrett Wilson is kind of receiver one right now, especially with Corey Davis being out at the time. So I think Pat got beaten by Garrett Wilson on that play. But other than that, he held him in check. But again, I said this before. I think Garrett Wilson getting these opportunities against these otherworldly corners like Pat Sertan, like um, Jair Alexander, stuff like that. It's just going to make him better. Garrett Wilson will be good, guys. He will. He just needs more opportunities. Even though there was that crazy play he made towards the beginning of the game where he dropped the ball, he's going to drop. He's going to drop balls. It's going to happen. But if he makes the ones that matter, I'm not worried about him. All right. So I definitely want your guys' feedback on this last topic here. So as far as game balls and unsung heroes. All right. I had a tough time with this. That's why I definitely want to hear y'all's opinions. This is a big team win. To Melvin's point earlier, defense, special teams, they won the game. It wasn't our offense because we were inept for most of the game. And I feel like it's kind of a cop-out to go secondary, and I think I did that before. So I'm going to slightly cop out and just say our two starting corners, DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner. We already talked about Sauce, so I'm not going to go super hard here. He was otherworldly. He was great. He was fantastic. His coverage was great. I like the way he bats balls out of players' hands. I love the physicality he uses, and that he's still respected enough by the refs that no, Sauce is doing it right. You know what I mean? Considering how many times we are flagged, you gotta give some credit to Sauce and his man skills there. And then DJ Reed was really freaking good, man. He had 3 passes defense, and he decleated Jerry Jeudy. That first hit, it was like the first play of the game. Pow! Right in the kisser, man. You tackled him for a loss. It was awesome. I freaking love him. DJ Reed is not talked about enough by our fan base. And part of it is because Sauce is so good, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want us to give my guy some credit. DJ Reed is a freaking baller. And we go in these games knowing that we got 2 guys that are going to help us win every time. We don't have to worry when someone throws a ball down deep. Like what was the play? The play towards the end of the game where Sauce basically won it. I think that was against Cortland Sutton. He threw the ball and I was like, Sauce got this. That's how I felt. And I know you guys feel the same way. You have to, because he's been killing it. Also, as far as like I wanted to give credit to CJ Mosley with what he did as far as that interception. I was so sure that it was him. I think the refs were being trifling, but I loved what he was doing there. Oh. The other thing I wanted to say there, sorry. When we thought he had the pick, DJ Reed was by him, just like maybe like a yard away. And DJ Reed flattened the wide receiver that was in front of him immediately as soon as CJ caught the ball, because he was ready to freaking block so we could get some yards back and ice that game. That was like my favorite little play that you just don't pay attention to because you're like, oh yeah, okay, we didn't get it. But stuff like that. That's a team player right there. That's a dude that's just ready to win and makes the plays necessary to win. As far as unsung heroes of the game that I had Bryce Huff, because he always seems to get pressure when he's out there. He doesn't get a bunch of snaps per game. So when he's out there, you're like, oh, okay, he's going to get to the quarterback. He may not necessarily sack him, obviously, but he's going to get there. And I'm still going to go Brees as my other unsung hero. Because that play, that touchdown that he got us basically won us the game. It gave us a score early that made it a little bit easier for our defense to go out there and pin their ears back. Playing with a lead is so different than playing from behind. We would have had to throw the ball a crap ton more. So if you think about it that way, that gave us the confidence that we needed. And the fact is, he gave us 6 points out of the 16 we scored. So you got to give him credit there, right? Just by default. And I think we really missed him. If Brees finishes the game, I mean, I would say he would have gotten another touchdown. I had a parlay, not a parlay, but I had a bet earlier that I found on there. It's like, okay, who do you have for to get it's anytime touchdowns we can get 2 or more. I picked Brees because I was like, I could see Brees getting 2 touchdowns. Didn't happen, but he was really great, even in that what that might have been 16 minutes of playing time. But it is what it is. He can just turn anything into a huge play. He's that home run hitter, that game breaker that you want. Again, prayers up to my guy. I don't want to, make this too negative here, but that's who I have for my unsung heroes. Greg the Leg. I thought about naming him here because those kicks he made were all needed, especially that one right before halftime. I think that was the 45-yarder. I think that one scared me, bro. I won't lie to y'all. I ran. I ran the next room like, okay, I'll come back. And I did, and we had gotten it. The entire defense, Exo Sports Talk, that's true too. You could definitely give it to them. They deserve it. They all played great. And yeah, total shutout in the second half. It was, and they really came to play in that fourth quarter. That's really starting to be what our team's MO is. It isn't just the offense scoring teams out. It's also our defense putting the clamps on these guys. Big keys there. Big keys. We needed them today. This was going to be a day that was going to be sloppy. This was a day we all knew we were going to need our defense. We were going to need to lean on them, and then we lost some players, so we even more so needed to lean on them. And defense was on the field a ton. And in years past, when your defense was on the field a ton, that means normally they give up plays, they give up touchdowns. And I'll still say this again. Remember earlier in this same season, guys, we were making all those miscommunications in the secondary in the red zone. I'll knock on wood here, but I haven't seen one. This is the third game in a row in which we haven't seen one. Might be the fourth. I don't know off the top of my head. So that's something that we should be proud of defensively, and just that our guys are rested. We do give Old Brick some crap about the fact that we have a defensive line rotation and that we rotate too much, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's why we're able to ball out in the fourth quarter. It's something to consider. I'm not saying that Old Brick has completely won me over, but we're getting results, so that's how I look at it. All right, and this is my last slide, and I'm gonna keep this one pretty short because I gotta go to bed because I gotta work tomorrow, and I'm sure some of y'all do too, or all of y'all do, or whatever. Angel, I don't think I said this earlier. Thank you for the Let's Go Jets. I'm gonna leave that up there because it's a good comment. It's a great comment. Let's go. All right. So the results of my parlays that I placed. Again, I'm gonna keep this short because I don't need to go long on it. Y'all pretty much know who won what. The Jets covered, and we got the money line. Let's go. We got that. So I took that. The Giants covered, so credit to y'all. And Jarrell, if you're still watching this stream, again, thank y'all, because your girl was nervous. Your girl was nervous watching that because y'all had to make another comeback. So yeah, y'all hung in there, won that game, and it was looking real hairy in the fourth quarter, but y'all did what y'all needed to do, and credit to y'all, you're 6-1. So, hey, I love when both New York teams are playing well, even when cats out here like Jarrell want to talk smack. I do like seeing it. It's beautiful. Let me put the Let's Go Jets back up there. I gave you a little screen time. But you're right, Jarrell. You're right though. All right, but yeah, that was a fun game to watch. I watched that on Red Zone. It was fun watching Red Zone from 1 to freaking 4, so I could kind of enjoy the games without being stressed. Did y'all feel like that too, Jets fans? Obviously, because we always a 1 o'clock team. So I was like, oh, okay, let me just Okay, let me see what the Falcons do against the Bengals. I didn't bet on that game. I was happy I didn't. Anyway, Packers though. Man, F Aaron Rodgers, man, hurting me financially. Salty. I had him in a parlay that I did kind of early in the week where I went Jets, Giants, and Packers. So that one was nuked and killed, but it's okay because the Jets, Giants, and Seahawks parlay that my buddy Greg from Knicks, Jets, etc. I'm gonna shout you out again, bud. The Tsunami Speaks parlay, I think that's what you called it. the credit is yours. You don't have to name it after me. But anyway, that parlay hit and gave me $200. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, I didn't even have that listed on my list here just now, but I wanted to bring it up anyway. So yeah, screw the Packers. The Browns covered the 6 points, even though they lost, and I'm good with that because F the Browns too. Ha ha. Keep taking those L's. So when Deshaun comes in, it's still y'all still ain't gonna make the playoffs. How about that? That's what y'all deserve. But anyway. All right. Lastly, here, I did end up taking the Brees. I called it the Brees the Beast parlay because I wasn't able to do it in the last video, but it was available on Saturday. So I did it like Saturday night, and I had 70 yards. I picked a touchdown and a money line. I got it by the hair on my chinny chin chin, like because he only has 72 yards. So I didn't think he was gonna be out, but it ended up working out for me financially. But I would give that bet back if it meant Brees was coming back. So anyway, we need God works miracles, y'all. So that's what we need here to happen. Does anybody in the chat gamble? That's what I want to know. Which- Jarrell, you crack me the hell up. Really? The money line? Let me pull this up. So the money line is 1.5 for the Patriots. It might be worth doing it now because they play the Bears tomorrow, right? If the Bears, by the grace of God, win that game, the odds will change, right? So it might be worth doing the 1.5, or it might also be worth waiting because I could see the professional bettors, picking the Patriots because ill. And yes, I said Patriots on purpose. I like saying it that way because screw them. I don't have to say your name right. I don't know, Melvin. I'm really thinking about that. I might hit it now and then hit it again later. 1.5. I might also include it in a teaser. We'll see. But yeah, I like Melvin's advice here. I appreciate you guys in the chat rocking with me at 12:38 a.m. Let's go. Is it because we got a W? Um, that FUBU though. What you mean? What that mean? That FUBU though. Tell me what I'm supposed to know here. But anyway, and yes, sir. Cool, Melvin. Gambling's fun, and I mean, it's hard to resist it at this point, considering like every single commercial is Caesars, FanDuel, DraftKings. I listen to a lot of podcasts. And they're always advertising. There are new sports books coming out every damn day, and they all have like advertisements in which like they'll give you some money, So it's like, oh, I don't necessarily want Caesars, but if you're gonna give me $100, if I put $100 in, hard not to spread yourself thin doing a bunch of sports books. But that's pretty much it for me. Does anybody have any questions for me or just want to talk about something else before I wrap this up and try and go to work on time? Boss lady, if you are in the chat at 12:39, I'm still going to be to work on time. Please don't be mad at me. I might just be 1 minute late. Just one. All right. Not seeing any questions. I'll wait a little bit longer here. While we're waiting, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit it. If you haven't shared, Well, you can't share it yet, right? My bad. But if you haven't hit the like, please do so and subscribe for sure. I'm going to try and do more lives. Jarrell, if you are still in the chat, which you were 6 minutes ago, see, I did one. I took y'all's advice. Shout out to Queen as well from Dope Soul Sports Talk. It's a great show. We talk Knicks on there mostly all the time, every Tuesday. And I believe after this coming Tuesday, we're going to move to Thursdays. So you can find me there. You can find I Am Jarrell there. Obviously, the Queen herself on Dope Soul Sports Talk. That gets me every time. And Stafadan, if you still in the chat, he's also a panelist on that show. It's a great show. But that's really all I got, guys. So I appreciate y'all for staying up late. I will try and do it earlier next time. Like I said, the sauce got me earlier. So I was like, I need to chill out a little bit before I do a show. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. Y'all have a great evening as always. And let's go Jets. 5-2.